Good evening and hello and welcome to everyone joining us for our fourth installment of Inside GWM, our live monthly events. This is your opportunity to, of course, get the inside scoop on everything happening inside the GWM world and a chance to ask our experts, as always, your burning questions. Now, this is for everyone. Dealers, customers, people brand new to the world of GWM, you're all going to get something out of this. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, and I would also pay my respects to elders past and present. Now, as you can see, I'm excited because this all looks very different to the live events we've hosted in studio so far. We're coming to you live from the Mornington Peninsula here in Victoria. And this entire live stream, get this, is being powered by the real star of the show, the Cannon Alpha plug-in hybrid. Now, let me tell you what's happening. I'll get you to come and follow me. So, we've got V2L technology that is literally powering everything we're doing right now. If you come around the back to the tray, we've got 1.8 kilowatts of induction cooker just sitting away ready to go. And then if we spin around, you might be able to see we've got about 600 watts worth of lighting. And then over to here, Mitch, our director, who's working away quite hard. He's got his laptop, a couple of monitors and a switcher. There's about 400 watts worth of power being drawn there, and we still have some to spare. How cool is that? Now, let me talk you for this particular event. We've got, of course, some very special GWM personnel that are going to be joining us. So start submitting your questions, because what we want to do is get to the Q&A section as quickly as we can tonight, because we know a lot of you are going to be submitting questions throughout this next 10 minutes. Now, as always, we're going to try to get through as many of them as possible, but because of the time constraints, we simply don't have time. So if you want your question answered, make sure you start submitting them now. And of course, we're going to prioritize any questions specifically about the Cannon Alpha first. As I said, we just don't have time to answer all the questions live, but if you post up a question and we don't get a chance to answer it, someone from GWM will answer your question. They'll get to it over the next few days. Now tonight also, if you are submitting questions, the team at GWM are going to be picking out one of those questions to give away some amazing camping appliances valued, wait for it, at over $1,200. So one of you tonight, or maybe tomorrow morning, I'll explain a little bit more about how that's going to work later, is going to be walking away with some amazing prizes. Now, follow me, because joining us tonight, we've got some very good special friends. Of course, he's here at all GWM live stream events. We've got the head of marketing and communications for GWM Australia and New Zealand, Steve Maciver. And joining us tonight for the very first time is the senior product specialist, Tim Leong. Gentlemen, welcome to the Mornington Peninsula.
Luke, thank you. Great to be back, everyone. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot here, a little bit colder than we planned, but yeah, lovely to be back, and welcome everyone. Welcome, Tim.
How are you doing, mate? Yeah, I wish it was a couple of degrees warmer for you.
Certainly. Yes, it'll be interesting.
So let's get straight into it, Steve. What's been happening in the last month since we spoke?
Look, as always, there's been a lot going on in the world of GWM, continuing to sell plenty of cars. Look, the market's an interesting market at the moment, but certainly the value of GWM continues to shine through, and more customers are coming to the brand, which is very exciting. But I guess in relation to what we're here to talk about tonight, which is plug-in hybrid technology, look, a couple of announcements to make. Certainly one related to the Haval H6 GT plug-in hybrid that we've alluded to the fact will be coming to market early next year. We've actually gone out and we've opened up pre-orders on that car and announced pricing. So the Haval H6 GT plug-in hybrid, if you remember, we've talked about that car having a pure electric driving range of up to 180 kilometres.
Which is amazing in and of itself.
It's more than double what any of the competition currently has in market, so very impressive range. It's got 0 to 100 acceleration performance in just 4.9 seconds, combined fuel economy, combined range of over 1,000 Ks. all-wheel drive, and all that's going to be available for $55,990 drive away. So just announced pricing on that within the last week to 10 days. The order books have opened. We're already taking orders on that car for delivery early next year. So anyone who's interested, wants to know more, just come to the GWM ANZ website, pre-launch landing page on there, and if you're interested, send your details and one of our dealers will be in touch. But this car's coming and it's really exciting.
That's great in the world of the H6. And I believe GWM's also got some ANCAP news too.
We do, absolutely. Look, now since we last met, the Cannon Alpha has gone through final ANCAP testing. I'm very pleased to announce that it's been yet another brand new GWM vehicle that has received the full 5-star ANCAP safety rating, making it a clean sweep. Pretty much every new car that we've crash tested with ANCAP since the new generation of products started coming through, initially with the Cannon in 2001, have received the full 5-star ANCAP safety rating, the Cannon Alpha being the latest.
Now, it is the star of tonight's show, and as I said, we've got it powering everything. What are some of the other updates that this vehicle's had, and why is hybrid technology so important? Why are we discussing it tonight?
Look, for the benefit of people who maybe didn't see the live stream we did a couple of episodes ago, plug-in hybrid technology is going to become a much more important technology for consumers across Australia. The reason being is that come the 1st of July next year, the government is introducing what we call the new vehicle efficiency standards. And what that does is it's going to incentivise technology like plug-in hybrid, but also hybrid to a lesser degree, but then also EV as well. And ultimately what that's going to mean is that less fuel efficient technology, internal combustion technology, will become more expensive over time. Those technologies will receive penalties from the government, which will inevitably drive up prices of those technologies, but incentives will be put on technology like the plug-in hybrid Cannon Alpha you see here and the Tank 500 behind us. So really important, and GWM's really doubling down on that technology, and we've already announced that we're going to have 3, if not 4, brand new plug-in hybrid vehicles in market in Australia next year. So we're here to give you guys a bit of an update as to when that might be happening, but also to allow Tim to give us a bit more detail in terms of how the technology itself actually works.
Well, Tim, you are the product specialist, so on that note, tell us, does the hybrid system in the Cannon Alpha work?
Certainly, Luke. So to make it very simple, in a conventional car, you have the engine up front, followed by the gearbox, and in between the two, there's a torque converter. In our hybrid system in the Alpha, the torque converter is integrated with a motor, which means during EV mode driving, the engine can be completely isolated. The motor then powers through the gearbox and then through to the wheels. And that's how the hybrid systems work in the Alpha.
And just to remind everyone again, if you hadn't seen, that technology and the way that it works that Tim's just explained, that's what allows this car to have up to 110 k's of pure EV range in 4-wheel drive mode, which is pretty unique within the segment. And again, just an indication of how far the technology is coming with these GWM plugins.
And that has regen capability as well, doesn't it?
Definitely. So basically, as the vehicle slows down, the vehicle will prioritize regen over using the physical brakes on the car, but only when you jam on the brakes in an emergency situation or as you come to a complete stop, that's when the physical brakes would actually kick in.
That's the Cannon Alpha plug-in hybrid. So how does that differ then to the standard hybrid Alpha?
So the key differences between the normal hybrid as well as the plug-in is obviously the plug-in has the plug-in charging capability. It has V2L capability. It has a much bigger battery pack, and it also has a bigger motor. All this means, from a performance point of view, the plug-in has 300 kilowatts and 750 Newton meters of torque, which is quite a lot more compared to the standard hybrid.
Absolutely, they're impressive. The best of times.
And of course, the other key bit as well, the advantage that a plug-in will give you over a conventional hybrid is technically you never actually have to use fuel unless you want to. I guess for me that's the key advantage in thinking about just that capability and flexibility as a family, commuting, whatever. But even with 110 k's of range on the Cannon Alpha, 180 k's on the H6 GT plug-in, in theory, the average commute for a consumer in Australia is about 20 to 25, 30 k's every day. In theory, certainly with the GT, you could travel to and from work 5 days a week using pure EV driving without ever having to put fuel in. So there is that additional range, there is the performance, all that technology that Tim's talked about. But again, the ability to drive purely on EV if you want is there. But again, if you want to go longer distance, you've always got the backup of that internal combustion engine as well.
Very handy, especially during those weeks where fuel prices seem to be skyrocketing. So for people out there watching tonight that are going, I've heard about plug-in hybrid and I know hybrid technology. How does GWM's hybrid technology differ to what's out there already or its competitor?
Yeah, so Cannon Alpha plugins competitor out there, the biggest difference between the way they work is in the Alpha you have a proper transfer case, which means you have a proper low range. You have then your front and rear diff locks. Because this car is built on the tank platform, which is our specialist off-road series, you know, this car is definitely capable of going off-road and have true 4x4 capability because the wheels are physically connected to each other when you have all three locked.
Let's really emphasize that point too, because it's not flashy technology for the sake of it. This is a proper 4x4 hardcore off-roading capable vehicle.
Spot on, Luke. I mean, the technology is there to enhance the performance, to enhance the efficiency. It's not there because we think we have to have plug-in hybrid technology. It's there to deliver a better performance and a better product. So the underpinnings of that vehicle, as Tim's quite rightly said, is on that tank platform. Front rear locking diffs, proper four-wheel drive technology, all of that is still fully available with the plug-in hybrid technology as well.
So with all these different options kind of out there, how do you think consumers should go about working out what technology and what option is right for them?
I think it really depends on use case, and that's one of the things about GWM with our large range of products and also powertrain offerings. Depending on your use case, you can choose either your standard hybrid or the plug-in. For an example, if you have charging capability at home, then the plug-in hybrid definitely makes a lot more sense. But if you struggle to do that, and then potentially the standard hybrid is the way to go. And for a lot of use cases, especially around the city driving, if you do a lot of city driving Monday to Friday, but then you'd like to go out during the weekend, the plug-in also makes a lot of sense because whenever you go the further distance, you can still benefit from the efficiency of a full charge. And but on the other hand, if you do a lot of long distance towing, as well as with the lack of charging facility at home, then yeah, hybrid is definitely the way to go.
I guess that's an interesting point because there are other brands coming to market out there who are focused just on EV. There's other brands who haven't quite caught up with the game in terms of that new emerging technology, battery EV, or even plug-in hybrid for that matter. One of the unique offerings about GWM and, you know, almost becoming a market leader in the space is that we've got technology for everyone. As much as we're here today and tonight to talk about the importance of plug-in hybrid technology and how that's going to come on strong for us in the coming years, we'd be very clear to say that petrol and diesel, you know, isn't going anywhere overnight. As much as these efficiency standards are going to potentially drive the price up of that technology in the future, we still believe that plenty of buyers want petrol and diesel. We're also the second biggest seller of hybrid technology in this market, and that will grow for GWM as well, so we're doubling down on that. But then also plug-in hybrids will grow. EV, we've already got one EV with the Aura in the range. There's more EVs to come as well. So as much as plug-ins, what we're here to talk about right now, because that's exactly where we're heading in terms of new product in the coming months, GWM is doubling down on engine technology across the board.
The fact that you're second in the amount of hybrid that you sell for such a young brand, I don't know if you all out there realize how special that is and how impressive that is.
look, again, I think it's something that we as a brand were very proud of, and it has come on relatively quickly. And I think that's testament to the hard work that the engineers and the R&D staff are putting in at head office and at the factory. The fact that we've been able to bring this amazing technology, which if you read the reviews from any of the independent journalists, will talk about how the technology is great, it works, it adds to performance. But to be second in this market in hybrid technology to only Toyota, and I mentioned Toyota, we've got to give them kudos because they've been selling hybrid technology for 20 years. But we've only been doing it really in this market for 3 years, and to be second in market already, I think is testament not only to the technology, but again to the willingness of Australian consumers to embrace the technology that we're bringing to market.
Yeah. And we know how important it is. So, I mean, GWM's just kicking goals. It's fantastic. Now, before we get to the Q&A, one more question, because obviously the fact that we're here in the beautiful Mornington Peninsula, sitting outside, wishing it was a couple of degrees warmer, but a beautiful sunset's going on. Look, it's fun that we're powering this whole live stream event via the V2L technology in the Cannon Alpha. But Steve, what in the real world, how would that translate for people that would buy this car? Obviously, they're not going to be powering live streams. What can they power?
Look, great question. With that sort of discharge capability you've got in these cars, you're absolutely right. No one's going to come and run a live stream. Good luck to you if you are, but you can do it. That's what we're saying, absolutely. But look, really for us, it's about the ability just to have flexibility. It really makes plug-in hybrid technology a facilitator of a really flexible lifestyle. So if you want to go off-grid or even just go to your local campsite and you don't want to pay for a powered campsite, you've got technology in the car that you can discharge to run lighting. You can run a fridge like we've got next to you there, Luke, which is what we're giving away tonight as well.
Do you want a water?
I'd love a water, Luke, thank you. You can run, you know, obviously cooking capability that we've got in the back there. You know, music, lighting, whatever it is, again, that V2L technology, thank you, Luke, really gives us capability and flexibility that you don't have in any other type of vehicle, and I think that makes it really exciting.
Absolutely. I think the fact that you could be out in the middle of nowhere and literally be operating your own powered site is phenomenal.
And maybe just, Tim, just remind everyone here in terms of the V2L output and generally how long you'd be able to run that for.
Yeah, for sure. So the maximum output of the V2L is 3.3 kilowatt. So as Luke touched on a lot at the beginning of the show, you know, we can run a large variety of items like the induction cooker, 1.8 kilowatts, etc. So at a campsite, if you imagine being in a campsite environment, you can easily run a fridge, an induction cooker, and obviously when that is off as well, you can run coffee machines, etc., etc.
And how long could you do that for, Tim, in theory?
In theory, you can do it for about 10 hours, given the battery is 37.1 kilowatt hour.
Good luck to anyone who's cooking for 10 hours on a campsite, but in theory it can be done. But yeah, coffee, whatever, you can switch things in, and I think that's the point.
Yes.
And I'll just mention it too, because you can probably see the Tank 500 here over my left shoulder. That also has V2L capability too, doesn't it?
Correct. So that's plug-in hybrid. So we are extracting power from both cars right now to power the site.
Excellent. Okay, well, it's probably about time now for us to stop talking and dive into the live Q&A, and hopefully you've been submitting questions throughout the last 10 minutes that we've been talking about this phenomenal technology. So let's get straight into it. All right, we have Jeff has asked any news on the arrival of the Hubble H6 GT plug-in.
Yes, so Jeff, that's exactly what we were referring to just a few minutes ago. Very pleased to announce that the car will be on sale in Australia in Q1. I mentioned, of course, fringe benefit tax exemption still exists from the government. They're going to be there till the 1st of April. So cars will be arriving in Q1. So certainly there is going to be demand on that car. We're already taking orders. Order books are open. So if you're interested, jump onto the GWM ANZ website. Submit your details and the dealer will be in touch, but certainly on sale in Q1.
You heard it here, maybe not first, but shortly after first. Andrew Finkeld. Andrew, I hope I got that correct. Price. What's the price of the two cars potentially?
The price of these two cars we don't have yet, Andrew. It's too early to say. But what I would say is that if you think about the way that we've priced the Haval H6 GT, looking at a price premium, so I'm sitting at what today?
Yeah,
it's 47 at a price premium of roughly about 8k or thereabouts. Now it will depend on the vehicle itself, but a price premium of roughly about 8k to 10k above a conventional internal combustion engine. So if you look at where we've got these two cars today, if you think roughly about you know, 6 or 7k above.
Phones and their calculators out going, okay, well, what question about it? Any further informational insights to share about Any further informational insights to share about the 700?
700 is a car that we are interested in. We think is a statement SUV, again, loaded with technology, loaded with capability. We are looking at it. Again, we'd love to hear from the viewers and anyone online. If you think it's a car that's got a future here in Australia, we'd love to hear from you. It's on our radar. It's under consideration, but again, we haven't confirmed it and we can't confirm it just yet.
But if you want it, let them know. Leave a comment, ask a question. Andrew says, you're on the peninsula, just drop it off at my place on the way back, please. Sure, where Andrew lives, but obviously he's not too far away. Sure, Andrew, would you like it left in the driveway or on the street? We just need to confirm your address and we might make that happen. But it is a lovely part of the world here down on the Mornington Peninsula. So if you are down here, Andrew, I'm very jealous, albeit a little bit chilly. How's that water there, Tim? Is it cold enough for you?
Yeah.
Being kept in this fridge.
That's it.
Okay, sorry, back to the questions. Jamie.
The size of the fuel tank from memory is going down a little bit, but it's still 70 litre.
Okay, there you go. So only a little reduction.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a reduction, but obviously you have the addition of the battery range. So, you know, from a total range and everything point of view, yeah, we want to maximize the space for the massive battery pack, obviously.
Yep, absolutely. Umesh asks, will the 500 plug-in hybrid have 5 or 7 seats?
So the 500 high 4T plug-in hybrid, at this point in time, is looking at 5 seats only. We are working on something in the future, obviously, which may have 7 seats too. But yeah, that's a long way away though.
Yeah. There is plenty of new product under consideration, under development at the moment. So even the cars we're talking about today, and the cars we have mentioned are coming, there's probably another 6, 8, 10 of them right behind over the next 2 years that we're hopefully going to be able to bring to market. So it's very exciting.
Tate asks, and you touched on this a little bit before, but how capable is the Alpha plug-in hybrid off-road? So maybe to talk further, because it is an extremely capable off-road vehicle, can you tell us about some of the testing or places that it's been put to the test? Any journalist reviews that have taken it into some serious off-road regions? Or
yeah, look, I can talk to that a little bit as well. I think, you know, firstly, we've talked a bit about how we've had engineers here quite a bit over the past few months testing both these vehicles and a number of the other GWM products, and it's great that they are giving us the time to come and test Australian conditions, test Australian roads, etc., etc. So they're doing that. In terms of media evaluation on the launch of this vehicle, again, we did it in Victoria, and we went out to a couple of the state forests, and there's some fairly challenging tracks out there that we decided to really test this car out on. The feedback that we had from the journalists who came up to me when coming back to the venue after the drive was, it was pretty ballsy putting that car through that, because it was probably one of the more extreme driving scenarios that they've been asked to put a vehicle through on a press launch like we do. But again, the reason we do that is because it's designed to do that. That's exactly what the tank platform's for. You know, locking front and rear diffs, capable, the right clearances, etc., etc. We've got plenty of customers, I'm sure, could tell us many stories, Tim, and Tim was involved in a tank owners club event a couple of weeks ago. Was there any stories come out of that, Tim, in terms of how consumers are using them?
Yeah, well, most in the tank club event, actually, a lot of the customers were novice off-road, and most of the vehicles were stock standard as well. And some of the tracks, one of the key feedback that I got on the day was actually they were shocked at how capable both the Tank 300 and the 500 were, even in their stock form. You know, some of the bits we went on were pretty gnarly, and in fact, there was a bit of a story.
We love a good story.
One of our staff were driving up this little bit, and they forgot to put on the diff locks before it went up. So halfway up, you know, it was doing the usual thing, trying to get traction, but as soon as the diff lock went on, straight up.
Yeah.
It's like too easy.
How many driving are in the Alpha and the Tank?
So depending on the variant, there are different number of modes, and one thing that does stand out in the Tank 500 though is the expert mode, and we actually had we went up to Norwell Motorplex not long ago, and some of you guys might have seen this very car in drift mode, drifting around the skid pan. So yeah, there are a lot of cool stuff. Obviously there's also Baja mode and sand mode, mud mode, etc. for your various conditions. But yeah, lots of fun.
Can make anyone feel like a drift king or an off-road expert. That's great.
That's great.
Jack asks, this is a good question. Will the Alpha come in that colour?
We certainly hope so. You obviously like it, Jack. We do too. Again, you're seeing it in sort of fading light here, but even in that light, I think it looks amazing. But again, the event that Tim was talking about up at Norwell Motorplex in Queensland, where we had the car a couple of months ago, in that daytime light, it just looks sensational. So again, it's a colour we hope to get in to launch it in.
And Jack, I don't know if you caught the live stream event we did I think it was 2 events ago where we had the Cannon Alpha. If you haven't, make sure you go back and watch it and check out the interior colours as well. Jacob asks, how about the big dog? Will that be hybrid?
Very good question, very good question. And Jacob, what I can say is that hybrid is one of the powertrain options under consideration. We have not yet decided, petrol is obviously the other one. We have not yet decided which to take here in Australia. The big dog, or the H7 as it may be known, so we're still finalising that as well. Look, is a good chance to come to Australia. Too early just to confirm yet, but it is a very strong chance to come. In fact, you'll probably hear more about that on this very live stream in the near future. We've got a couple of cars here for evaluation back at our office at the moment. But yeah, hybrid's an option there, not yet confirmed.
Okay, well, I think that's about it. I think that's kind of all we have time for tonight. We're already half an hour in, guys. It goes so quickly.
It does indeed.
So thank you to everyone that just submitted a question. Now, on that, the competition that we're running, someone is actually going to win that Germanica, let me get that right, the Germanica foldable, don't put those 2 words together, double induction cooktop and this Dometic fridge freezer. As I said, they're valued at over $1,200. And so the GWM team is going to go through all the questions that were just submitted and that are going to be submitted up to 12 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time. They're going to get in touch with the winner to let them know. And then they're going to do a big Facebook post to let you all know who the lucky winner of this incredible camping gear is. And who knows, they might go on to buy a Tank 500 or a Cannon Alpha plug-in hybrid and be running this in the middle of nowhere just like we are. So keep your eyes on Facebook tomorrow for that winner to be announced. And if you've submitted a question, keep your eyes on your messages as well, because GWM will be contacting you first. Tim, Steve, thank you so much for your time as always. It was great, Tim, to get your product insight. So hopefully this is your first but not your last live event with us. And thank you to all of you, of course, for tuning in and joining us, whether you're doing it live right now at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, or you're going to be watching this later on YouTube or Facebook. Thank you so much for being a part of the GWM community. And again, if you posted up a question and we didn't have time to get to it live, apologies, but someone will get to you. Now, for more information on the Cannon Alpha, the Tank 500, or anything GWM, just head to their website, gwmanz.com. You can find out everything there is you need to know about the product or to book a test drive. So gwmanz.com for that. Now, there'll be one more live stream to see out 2024 in December. Again, keep your eyes on GWM's social pages for that information. But from Tim, Steve and myself live from the Mornington Peninsula, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for being a part of this incredible GWM community. Drive safe and we'll see you next time.